That's Zen birthing or mindful birthing. Then there's Zen parenting. That's your monastery. So the source blasts you away in birthing and then expects you to function immediately and big time. So just function. You become, it's like Zen, okay? It's like, you get blown away in your Sanzen interview and then you have to go do a job, okay? But there's no you left, so you just do the job. You become the activity. You just function. I mentioned in Zen you have these interviews with the Zen master, right? Mostly what you go for in an interview, people think they're going to solve these koans, like what's the sound of one hand clapping and things, and you are, but mostly you're going to have an experience of merging with the expansion, contraction, and emptiness of that Zen master. So it's sort of like some of their dynamic nothingness rubs off on you each time you do a sanzen or an interview, and then you carry that back to the meditation hall. Wow. That's how that works. And then but then, unlike the Shaktipat that the Hindus do, where you sort of get zapped and then you just sort of sit around and sing and worship the guru and have some grub. In Zen, you get the zap and then you got to go bust your ass in the meditation hall, and it's cold and they're beating you and they're yelling at you. You got to apply it right to this, you may think you got some energy or picked up something. Well, now let's see if you can use it with your aching legs and your aching, psyche, in this Zen torture chamber. Now we'll see. Did you really get it? And of course, why that's so cool is that then you're not a leaky capacitor that just gets charged and then loses it. You develop the strength. You can hold that, and you don't become dependent on the teacher for that energy. So because you're forced to use it and you're forced to be strong, it's not just, okay, we're going to let the guru, zap us and then sit around and talk about how great the guru is. You have to apply it to real stuff right away. So that's why I like the Zen approach to it. They talk about transferring the consciousness, but not in quite explicitly the terms I'm using with you now. So you go, you pick up something of the dynamic nothingness of that Roshi, and then you carry it back. The way I look at Zen parenting, using Zen here in a sort of metaphorical way, is that your baby is the Zen master. Because the baby is dynamic nothingness. It's still linked to the source. So every time you're interacting with the baby, you are you're having a Zen interview. That's your little Roshi, okay? And you can see the flow of expansion, contraction, and zero inside the baby, and it rubs off on you. So you're getting Shaktipat from your own baby through touch, sight, sound. Then you ride on that, and you're able to use it for the challenges of taking care of the baby.
Oh.
That's one way to think about the parenting. So it's pretty cool, huh?
It's very cool. Yeah.
Any questions about any of this?
You've talked about, and forgive me if I don't phrase it correctly, but that sometimes we will, the raw fear will come up, and you've said it's like an infant state of fear. Does that make
I understand
sense?
what you're talking
okay.
about, yes.
And I really appreciate you bringing that up, because I've had an experience like that, and now it gives me so much compassion when a baby cries or gets upset, and we may or may not know why that is, but by me experiencing that, and by you, letting me know that that's the raw emotion that an infant feels, I think it will let me have a lot more love and compassion for that child when they experience something like that.
Let me ask you, I want to make sure I know what we're talking about. Is it having the experience of a sort of like chaotic activity within field space inside yourself? Like you dropped into a very primitive level and there was just sort of like chaotic feel for no particular reason, just sort of like an amoeba doing a thing deep down there.
Yes.
Is that what you're alluding to?
Yes, but it was a huge chaotic fear, and
Was it just fear, or was it other sensations mixed in?
I think it was just fear, but it was really big. And then I just went grasping for an image or something to equate how big that fear was to something that I could identify with, and it was a terrible criminal situation was the image that just came in my mind. That's how big the fear was, but it was just the fear at the beginning.
So you experienced like raw fear in field space for no reason
No
whatsoever.
reason, no.
And it was just like a chaotic arising.
Mm-hmm.
And then you applied the practice to that?
Let me think back, it was a couple retreats ago. I'm not sure if I applied the practice or not. I
In that
think I
case,
was just
but
shocked because
You were
it
shocked
was
at,
so
at how
strong.
at how primitive and irrational
Mhm.
field space can
Right,
be.
right.
But now you know that when you watch the baby sort of doing its stuff, you know, that's its field space expanding and contracting. So this gives you a sense of that you have an experiential sense of what the baby is going through when it's in its sort of primordial freak out.
Yes, yes. And instead of, going, what's wrong? It's like all of a sudden there's a huge amount of compassion because of what I experienced.
Well, that's excellent.
When time gets closer to that event, I'd probably like to talk to you about it, about the birthing process.
Sure.
Again,
Do-
you have left me with a lot of excitement, and I was on another retreat with you when someone went into, I think, labor on an online and then went to the hospital, and she came back and described it during the talking circle. I think she was in labor for a huge amount of time, and she talked about how the nurses and doctors were completely shocked at how she was in labor for so long, and they were amazed at how well she did. It was absolutely amazing.
Well, this is
I'm
good.
excited.
So I think we're good.
Yes, thank you.